Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 23 of 30 days of meditation. Happy Monday. I'd like to start off today talking about a story I just read last night about a group of disciples who were with their guru, Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda. And it's a group of disciples that had been with him for a while. And there was a new person that came into the group and was progressing in their meditative practices very quickly. So the disciples asked Yogananda, how come this new person's progressing so quickly? And Yogananda replied that, well, this person's just a really great listener. And I thought that was such a powerful statement when it comes to any kind of practice that we do in our life, but especially a meditative practice. And that got me thinking about the experience of hummingbirds in my neighborhood. So my parents live basically next door to me, and I don't think I've ever seen a hummingbird in my life at my house. But down the street, just right next door at my parents' house, they have hummingbirds there all the time. And it's kind of similar to these disciples. I could get curious, why aren't there any hummingbirds at my house? But if I just take a moment and think about it, well, my parents have hummingbird feeders at their house, and they've taken the time and energy to put up these feeders, fill them with sweet nectar water, and over time, they've attracted quite a group of hummingbirds. And whenever I go there, I can count on the fact that I'll see some hummingbirds there. So if I also wanted some hummingbirds at my house, it'd probably be wise to take a page from their book and get some hummingbird feeders and put them up at my house. If it were that simple, if I just put up some feeders and hummingbirds came, that would be great, and that might happen. But a lot of times, it might take a little bit of time for the hummingbirds to get used to the feeders at my house. I need to make sure I fill them with the nectar so it stays attractive to them. So it can take some time, similar to a practice. You can get sometimes frustrated that just by doing your practice, sometimes you don't draw in and receive the blessings that you were hoping for that would happen very quickly. So a word that came up when thinking about this is the word persistent receptivity. So using our willpower to persistently stay in a receptive state. I think a lot of times, at least in my upbringing, especially at school, I was taught, well, just work harder, work harder, work harder. And there is a place for that, but I think there's also a place for being open and receptive. So in a meditative practice, it's about being persistently receptive, persistently doing the things to stay in a receptive state. So once you put up that feeder in your life that can start to attract those meditative experiences, it's about staying in an open, receptive space. And all of a sudden, just like a hummingbird, they'll fly into your practice and they might stay there for a moment, then they'll fly away. And over time, those experiences will come around more and more and more. One last story that's a pretty common story that I've heard that relates to this is the story of a person that was looking for his guru. So he heard that there was this very wise guru in town. So he went over to the ashram and the gates were locked. So he decided that he was going to stay outside of the gates, knock on the door from time to time. And it took about a week. He was just sitting there waiting. He knew that people were in there because he could hear them. So he stayed patient, receptive, and after a week, eventually someone came and opened the door and welcomed him into the ashram. And the person was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna learn these wise techniques to become a yogi myself. But almost right away, the people gave him a broom and told him, all right, now it's time to sweep the ashram. And for months, this guy was given the job of cleaning the ashram and sweeping up. And over time, the guy started questioning, what am I doing here? I thought I was going to learn some yogic techniques. And finally, after months of sweeping up, finally, he learned the first yogic training. And his experience kind of blossomed from there. And my take on that is for a lot of us, again, it's that persistent receptivity. A lot of us have our egos that get in the way and forget about that humble and receptive nature that can come from acts of service. That's something my guru talks a lot about, the power of service to others. serving others and humbling ourselves, which puts us in a more receptive nature, which is such an important piece of our meditative practice. So on that note, I encourage you to get ready to sit on your mats and enter a receptive state as we connect with our lotus practice. And settling into your mats, taking some deep breaths. And as always, noticing any places that you might be holding any tension or resistance, any places that aren't completely open yet today. And using our breath to connect to that resistance and stress. And as you breathe out, let go, release, and open. Doing it a couple more times. Bringing a little tension and added tension to the shoulders or wherever you're holding that tension. And then when you breathe out, relax and release that tension. One more time. Monday is garbage day at my house. This is the part of our practice where we're letting go of any stress or garbage that we've accumulated so we can be open and receptive to our practice. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart as we chant the sound of Om to start our practice. Breathing in. Allowing your hands to rest in your lap. Bringing your awareness to the heart chakra behind your sternum in the center of your spine. Noticing a beautiful golden lotus flower. It's living in your heart. And as you breathe in with the sound of Sa, mentally chanted, the golden petals of your heart open. And as you breathe out with Hum, mentally chanting the sound of Hum, as the golden petals close into a bud. Becoming a witness to the natural movement of your breath as it connects to this lotus of your heart, blooming with Sa and budding with Hum. Feeling the sensation of the lotus flower opening in your heart and closing into a golden bud of light, love, and healing in your heart as you breathe out with Hum. Passive, receptive awareness. And bringing your awareness into the center of your lotus. Becoming aware of the lotus opening up around you. Its golden petals blooming. As light, love, and healing flow in. As you breathe out with Hum, the golden petals create a cocoon of light, love, and healing around you. So we now move into the Hamsa of the willful breath. I invite you to match the rhythm of your breathing to the sound of me chanting the mantra. So we now breathe in with the sound of Sa, breathing in, Sa, holding the breath for about 10 seconds. And breathing out with hum, hum, petals closing into a bud, holding the breath. Breathing in, Sa, holding. Hum, holding. And one last time. Sa. Hum. Allowing your breath to return to its natural flow. Staying connected to the lotus of your heart. And the mantra Sa as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. Stilling the mind and calming the heart as you connect to your inner radiance that is this golden lotus flower. Connecting with its power and beauty, its golden light. So we take one more breath, breathing in with Sa, and grounding your breath with hum. Taking a few moments to rest in the stillness. Connect to the presence. And closing our practice, bringing our hands to our heart as we chant the sound of Om. Om. And slowly opening your eyes. Taking a moment to reconnect to your body. Noticing any places that you might need to move your body a little bit. And shake out your legs a bit. So hope you enjoyed your practice this morning. I think it's important to remember that our practices have seasons. So if you're looking for hummingbirds in the winter, you might not have a lot of luck. You have to wait until spring and summer for the hummingbirds to come around. So similar with our practice, we all have seasons to our practice. There can be times where it feels very beautiful and bountiful, and there's other times during our practice where it can feel like there's not much going on. So it's a very normal part of your practice. So try not to get too discouraged. Continue to do your practice, and that's one of the reasons we have community and teachers to reach out and ask about anything that might be discouraging or blocking your practice so you can get some guidance. So I look forward to practicing tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. And until then, have a beautiful day. Blessings.